All Indiana Politics is your premier source for Indiana politics, focusing on issues that matter to you.
I still want us to be the best in the Midwest.
We can't afford another lockdown.
Give the citizens of this country the relief they need.
Education in the state of Indiana remains priority number one.
In-depth, nonpartisan coverage.
We don't know exactly where the economy will be in January.
People are worried with good reason.
Exclusive interviews with Indiana's political leaders.
We have the resources here in the state of Indiana to care for those who are in need.
Expert analysis on critical legislation.
We need to reform those laws.
This recovery is going to take some time.
We've got to anticipate that there'll be a budget shortfall.
From Wish TV, this is All Indiana Politics Podcast on the All Indiana Podcast Network.
I'm Wish TV government reporter Garrett Bergquist. For the first time in history, the U.S. House has no speaker. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy was ousted in an extraordinary vote on October 2nd. Now the race is underway to figure out who will succeed him. I talked to 3 Republican members of Indiana's House delegation to see where they stand. Joining us now is Congresswoman Victoria Spartz. Congresswoman, welcome back to the program.
Thank you for having me.
So right after the spending bill passed, you told me that you were open to the idea of removing Kevin McCarthy as Speaker, though you stopped short of endorsing the idea. What ultimately led you to vote against Gates's motion?
Well, listen, I fought to have that rule because the ruled motion to vacate that existed for over 100 years and was taken out by Speaker Pelosi to be a queen. I fought for that rule to exist. And I think Kevin agreed to that. So I think it had to go to the floor. And I supported the motion against the motion to table. So it goes to the floor. But then after conversation with Kevin, I truly believe, he started realizing and become really understanding that we need to deliver on things that were important. So I was willing to give him a chance. And I thought, he might be now productive speaker to be able to do things like that. But unfortunately, some of my colleagues, felt that was, too late and they didn't have trust. And that's what pure accountability is, when you're willing to hold your own party accountable, not just the other side.
So what will you look for in the next speaker?
I honestly think it's important for us to have a strategy to deliver, not talking points, not just fight China on Fox News and all of this doing presentation and books, but what is the important issues for the American people that is feasible to deliver, considering, we only control one chamber. But I think there are common ground national security issues like border security and our national debt that we can find common ground solution and be able to do something actually to govern. And we need to be able to be more proactive and forceful. And I hope the Senate will not want to fight with us, but I think we might have to fight, but I think we need to make an offer to resolve this peacefully or go and fight and win for the people, because I'm sick and tired of everyone here only worrying about politics and big money. We have some serious issues. And I want to see how the top contestants that are going to, now try to run in for this office, make their case that they will be able to work with a very diverse group of people and be able also to win against Democrats in the Senate. And Republicans, not just Democrats. There are a lot of swampy Republicans over there, too.
So far, at least 2 to 4 people have said they'll run for Speaker, and they include Jim Jordan and Majority Leader Steve Scalise. Right now, are you endorsing anyone?
No, I'm going to stay open-minded. Both of them met qualifications with good human beings. I think for me, it's very important that people do have good heart and care. I think both of them are good people, but then I'm going to listen to them and how they're going to deliver, because it's going to be a very difficult group of people to govern. You have to deal with the other side and you have to be strategic and smart. But I think it's important for me to deliver now, not, talk about next Congress, 5 Congresses later. What can we do for the American people this year? What our strategy is going to be. And I'm going to be open-minded to listen to them and what people they're going to have on their team to help us.
You said you'll resign from Congress if the next spending plan doesn't have a debt commission. Has the situation with the Speaker made you more or less likely to resign?
Well, listen, I actually wanted to communicate just to let people know that this is a very important time, and and unfortunately, the next Congress, unless we have something like that commission, unless we get something done now, it's going to be a lot of presentations. So I want to say, if I'm not going to be doing anything productive, I'll consider that thing, and I don't want people to be surprised. So I actually mainly communicated and also raised the importance and understanding how this institution functions. I think American people need to learn more about us so they can hold us more accountable. But I think we'll see. If I would have some great people, who are not running, like Thomas Massey be a speaker, I might even run again. I don't know if it's helped him. Some people probably don't want me to run again. But I'm just saying it's important. Leadership is important because I can do a lot of things as one woman standing, but to resolve these major issues, you have to have a team and leaders that are willing to go in the trenches to deliver, which is very hard. Machine is very powerful. Big money are very powerful here. So you have to have a strategy and vision and really care enough. So I think both of these people do care enough. But then the rest of it, I'm going to be open-minded.
I want to make sure I understood your answer. Depending on who ends up getting elected and what happens after that, are you saying that you might decide to go ahead and run for another term in 2024 after all?
Well, I just said if I really feel like that need to help some real great people, I have a lot of people. Listen, it's a great honor. I have a lot of people upset that I decided not to run again, and I decided to regroup, and a lot of people want me to run one more time. And listen, I said, right now, I just didn't feel that would make, as much as I need to do with not having the right people, that willing to fight and win and be smart and strategic. If something changed, I might, but I'm not saying that. It's really not something I'm inclined to do unless I feel that it's very, very important for me, the right people that are going to be in charge of this institution to succeed. And I would be happy to help them succeed this year if I believe it's the right team. And if I feel that is something is necessary, I might, but generally that's not something that I'm inclined to do. I don't want all of the people get nervous, but good politicians and other people nervous is actually not a bad thing too, because they need to be all held more accountable.
Congresswoman Victoria Spartz, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Let's now turn to Congressman Jim Banks. Congressman, thanks for joining us today.
Hey, good to be with you.
So you've endorsed Jim Jordan for Speaker. Why is he your pick?
Well, it's my sense that we have to do something different. Obviously, what happened with ousting the Speaker a couple of days ago, we can't just keep recycling the same people and elevating the same people over and over again. We have to do something different. We need a better communicator. We need a bolder leader. We need someone who can rally and unify the Republican Party in the House. And that person, to me, is obviously Jim Jordan. He's always the leader of any key conservative battle or fight on Capitol Hill over the past dozen or so years. He's been there. And when I look at all of the members of my conference, many people who I respect, it's just clear to me that Jim Jordan is the best person for this time to bring our party together and march us forward.
Are we going to have a speaker in time to avert a government shutdown next month?
I hope so. The clock is ticking. So on Wednesday of next week, we will gather together as Republicans in the House, or at least we're scheduled to make this important decision to elect a new speaker. So I don't know. There's still a lot of uncertainty about the timing and the schedule of that. On Tuesday, we have a candidate forum where at this point, I think there are 3 candidates who are running in the House for Speaker of the House to be the next Speaker of the House, where Republicans will get together and hear from them and question them. And then on Wednesday, that important historic decision is supposed to happen. I mean, one thing I've learned here in Washington for the past 7 years serving in the House is that the Speaker of the House is really important. And this is a really important decision that we're about to make, especially as things have disintegrated for our party in the Congress over the past few days. We have to get this right. We have to put a strong conservative leader in the Speaker's chair to move us forward. That person, to me, is obviously a key conservative leader, someone well known around the country among the Republican Party base, that being Jim Jordan.
If next month this new speaker cuts a deal with Democrats to keep the government funded, much as McCarthy did, might they be out of a job too?
A good chance of it. I mean, the rules of the House with the motion to vacate only takes one member to call that motion. Of course, Matt Gaetz called that motion a few days ago, leading us to where we are now. So that's a real possibility. And that's why I think it matters who we pick to be the Speaker. We need a Speaker of the House who can reach out to those 8 who voted to oust McCarthy on the Republican side, and also reach all throughout the Republican Party conference in the House to bring us together, to unify us, rally us to the cause. I mean, it's my belief that the voters gave us the majority, gave the Republicans the majority to be a check on the Biden administration. Historically, that's happened many times, most of the time in American history, that we've had one party in the majority in the Congress, a different party in the White House. So we've got to make sure that we live up to the commitments that we made and be that check on the Biden agenda. We can't do that if we don't have a Speaker of the House. So Jim Jordan is the right guy for the job. He's a Midwesterner. He's a proven conservative. He's led the largest caucus on Capitol Hill, the Republican Study Committee that I chaired last term. He was a founder of the Freedom Caucus. He's chairing the House Judiciary Committee with all of the oversight functions and the accountability efforts in this Congress that are so important. He's the right man for the job with the best experience. We got to do something different. We can't just keep recycling the same people and expect a different result. We have to do something different. And to me, that next move should be Jim Jordan.
In the span of a few days, we very nearly had a government shutdown, and now we don't have a speaker. Can the American people trust the Republican Party to run the country?
Well, I hope so. I mean, we'll see over the next few days if we can work this out. I mean, this is a internal fight among Republicans, a family matter, if you will, that we need a Speaker of the House that all Republicans in the conference can trust and know that they have the best interest in mind of moving our agenda forward and sticking to our conservative principles. That's why I support Jim Jordan for Speaker, because he's that trusted, proven conservative leader. So we've got to pick up the pieces, and this is history, but it's ugly history. And Republicans have a duty here to our country to pick up the pieces, get a new speaker in place as soon as possible, and then move forward and focus on what matters most, which is is fighting for this great country. That's what we're here to do, and that's what I'm committed to do. And I think we need to get this resolved quickly so we can do that.
Congressman Jim Banks, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
We now bring in Congressman Rudy Yakum. Congressman, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
First off, what was it like for you watching the vote to oust McCarthy? You and all the Indiana Republicans voted to keep him.
It was absolutely surreal. What we voted for was to continue with our appropriations process, to continue securing the border, but to actually be on the floor during that historic moment and see the Democrats cheering, to see them happy, to see even when the motion to vacate was filed earlier this week, to see them literally dancing in the aisles. It's something that made me a little bit sick.
So far, at least 4 people have said they'll run for Speaker. They include Jim Jordan and Majority Leader Steve Scalise. Right now, are you endorsing anyone?
So not endorsing anyone at this point. 3 people have reached out to me to seek my support for Speaker of the House, and we're carefully considering each one of those. We are in a position right now where we've got a bit of an embarrassment of riches on the Republican side. Any one of these folks would do a phenomenal job leading our conference and leading the House of Representatives and getting us back to the business that the people of the 2nd District sent me here to do, which is to do things like secure the border, lower inflation, and hold the Biden administration accountable.
What will you be looking for before you decide who you're going to vote for as Speaker?
Well, I want someone that will bring our conference together. In order to become Speaker of the House, you're going to have to get to 218 votes on the floor. And so what I'm looking for is someone that can bring our conference together, heal the conference, unify us, and go forward and get back to the business of the people.
You serve on the House Budget Committee. How does the lack of a speaker hamstring efforts to fund the government after November 17th?
Well, as of this moment in time, we have a Speaker pro tem. And really the only power that the Speaker pro tem, Patrick McHenry, has is to convene the Congress for the purpose of electing a Speaker. We cannot bring legislation to the floor right now to fund the government, to pass continuing appropriations bills that we've passed 4. We have 8 more to go. All of that business and all of that momentum is stopped until we elect a Speaker of the House. And that's why I voted against the motion to vacate.
Speaking of the shutdown, what do you want to see in a budget deal before you vote for it?
Well, what I want to see in a budget deal is something that restores fiscal responsibility to Washington. That is what Hoosiers sent me there to do. And that's why we voted on 4 appropriations bills that helps start the process of restoring fiscal responsibility. We've already funded 73% of the government through those appropriations bills. Meanwhile, the Senate has taken up none of those. They passed 0 appropriations bills in the Senate. So what I want to see is something that starts to bend the curve on federal spending. Let's be clear, we have a spending problem, not a revenue problem in Washington. So we need to start to bend the curve on federal spending.
If the next speaker also cuts a deal with Democrats to keep the government funded, might they be out of a job too? And does that make it even harder to prevent a shutdown?
Well, look, I think what we need to do is work on a deal that gets to a majority of votes with Republicans within the House. You know, we don't need to be negotiating against ourselves with Republicans. What we need to be doing is negotiating with the Senate, negotiating with the president. We need to be focused on passing the most conservative bills out of the House possible that will get to 218 votes that put us in a strong negotiating position with both the Senate and the president.
Congressman Rudy Yoakum, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And that was Congresswoman Victoria Spartz, Congressman Jim Banks, and Congressman Rudy Yoakum. Remember, you can catch All Indiana Politics every Sunday morning at 9:30 exclusively on Wish TV. I'm Garrett Bergquist. Thanks for listening.
From Wish TV, this is All Indiana Politics Podcast on the All Indiana Podcast Network. Watch All Indiana Politics live Sunday mornings at 9:30 on Wish TV and at wishtv.com. Subscribe to this podcast and listen weekly here on the All Indiana Podcast Network. And be sure to discover even more great podcasts at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.